Hi everyone, it's Dee from Turtle Dove. Hope you're all doing really well. Today, today I'd like to show you a few of my plants. So if you love plants, you'll like this video. I collect a few succulents, so I'll take you out under the alfresco area we have, and I have a shelf full of some little succulents I've been collecting over the last year or so. But first I'd just like to show you a couple of plants in my house. This beauty here, I don't even know what it is. My mother gifted me this over 20 years ago, and it is the first time that it's been inside. All those years it's been under a veranda outside somewhere. So it's very hardy, which is why it's still alive. But I've repotted it. It was in the same pot for 20 years. Just a cheap plastic terracotta looking pot. So I finally bought a really pretty pot for it. And there's an inner plastic pot as well, just so that I can take it out and rinse the plant down from time to time. But isn't it beautiful? It's got real thick, waxy leaves. And I wish I knew what it was called. But the trouble with plants is they have these really unusual botanical names that are hard to say. So anyway, that's this. It's got some new shoots coming up. So this was at the front side of the door, at the front entrance. But I had trouble with another plant that kept being knocked over in the wind. So I moved that plant where this one was and took this one inside, because there's no room in the back for that one. So I think it looks really nice in there. And just one more plant. This is a new one, a Maidenhair Fern. My mother-in-law had a Maidenhair Fern for years that it was probably about 3 times as big as this one. And periodically she would burn the fern down, and then it would just flourish 2 to 3 months after. So if you've ever known anyone to do that to a maidenhair, let me know. But yeah, I just thought I'd quickly show you that one. So hopefully I won't kill this plant with kindness. And let's go outside. And I tried to film this video earlier this morning, but there was so much noise going on outside with building and such that I just started the video again. It is about 3 p.m. in the afternoon, so let's go out and hopefully it won't be too noisy. So this is my shelf with my collection of succulents. I'll start with this. This is still in the original hanging basket that I had in the last house. And I have nowhere to hang it at the moment, so it's just sitting up on a fairly tall pot. But this is the string of pearls, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And you can see the little the flowers coming up. They're still closed, they're not flowering yet, and they're quite hardy. I did try to identify all these plants so I could let you know the name, and I did a couple, but they're so hard to pronounce. Crassula Hobbit, and this reminds me of a coral plant actually, and that's quite big. I've had that for a while. And I'll just pop this back there. I actually did that yesterday, and I was going to identify all these plants, but it's just too hard. I don't know them by name, but there's a little one. I broke a piece off and I just stuck it in this side of the pot, so that's growing because this end was empty. And here's another little over there, another little plant there, and my naughty dog Rita dug in that quite a while ago and it's come back up again. I have some very unusual succulents. There's one that looks like an alien plant, and I'll show you that in a moment. Now, I don't know if this belongs in here or not, and I can't even tell what that says, so, but it's variegated, which means it has green and another colour with it. It's not a solid colour. This was quite tall, so what I did was cut it off and stuck the other bit in the dirt, so I'll be able to transplant both of these, but I'll probably do that in spring. This one here has little teeth on it, and they have little babies which you can transplant. So there's two there, so I've actually got 3 plants there. The one in the back has just finished flowering, and they were pretty lilac flowers, so I've got to cut that back. And this one over here is very dainty, and this is a sedum or sedum. Don't know how to pronounce it, but that's more of a creeper type plant. And my son's girlfriend gave me a cutting of this string of pearls, and this particular string of pearls is variegated, so it's got white bits through it. And this plant here, I don't think is a succulent, but it's suffering from something. It has these beautiful little purpley pink flowers, but something's eating it, and you can see eggs of some sort have been laid, so that has to be cut right back. And I've got to read up about what's going on with that plant, because that's only done that this year, so I don't know what it is. All the castings of whatever it was are all on the ground there. Now here's a pretty plant. I've got 1, 2, 3 of these that I've just transplanted. That's a good thing with succulents, you can just break them off and stick them back in the dirt and they'll grow. And I don't know if you can see, not with that big leaf there, there's a little jade plant. I've got 2 of those. I've just popped that in the side of this herb pot, which doesn't have herbs in it. And the other plant in this big pot, it's a bit hard to tell, but it has this. I've got so many plants here. This and this flower's on the ends. I don't know what that's called either. There is I can just see and I can barely read it. so you might be able to read that. So I think that's what's in there. Just put that back in. And this one, it's absolutely beautiful. It's quite hardy, and it's just grown right over the pot. And this one's variegated as well. And I've got one of those coral type plants again in the top there. And this plant here, I bought this little shell vase from an antique shop, so we've drilled a hole under there for drainage. But this, I think, is called, the common name is a jelly bean plant, and it's half bare because if you just touch it, they all fall off. All the leaves fall off. Here we go. Can anyone pronounce that? This is what I mean. The pronunciation of succulents are very difficult. So I don't even want to try. Now this one again is another type, ground cover type of succulent. Now, that's what it is. But this, I think you've got to be careful with succulents because you can overwater them. So this is looking a bit funny because I overwatered it and it's come back again, but this half's just completely died. So it's coming back. And there goes my phone. There's another one of these plants, the same as this one here. And it's growing in a giant teacup. So that's pretty. I'll have to grab this one down for you. This one looks a bit alien-like. Now this shelf's nice because it gets a tiny bit of a morning sun just in the corner, but in the afternoon it gets a lot of, or the bottom half gets a lot of afternoon sun anyway. Now this is a pretty plant as well. It's got the cream and the green and then some reds through the leaves. And this is very unusual. It's a Crassula perforata. I looked that one up for you. And I think my son's girlfriend gave me these ones from Cuttings. And again, right at the top, I have some string of pearls either side. They are from my last home. They were in hanging baskets, but I've just popped them in this trough. And I've had to put forks in the top of them because I've had pigeons trying to perch on there. And I thought, no, they're not going to do that because I'm going to kill my plants. So, but those string of pearls look very pretty. So that is my shelf of succulents. This is like a ficus tree in the corner. And this is similar to an arum lily, but on a small scale, and they have small white flowers. And here's the noise again. I just thought it was going to be quiet, and now it started. So I'll have to hurry up and finish. And this plant, I don't know what it's called, but it has these beautiful peach flowers. Absolutely gorgeous. They're just finishing now because it's autumn here in Australia. And over here, okay, this is a nice German pot that I found at a second-hand shop, but this has the Ghost Plant of Mexico. I think that's what it's called, the top there, which I'm not going to try and pronounce again. So again, you can just break these off and then stick them back in some dirt, and they'll develop roots in their own little plant. Again, the same. I've got a few of these, and this is the finish of the flower, a pretty orange and yellow flower. And of course we have mother-in-law tongue, and I don't know what the botanical name to that is, and I'm not even sure if that's a succulent or not. There's my spider plant, which I've taken down from its hook. We're just watering it at the moment. It gets a bit heavy when it's wet. And this is that other, I have told you I had 2 jade plants. So this one was a bit overwatered, so it's just drying out in the sun. And another one of these plants with the teeth. They can get very sharp. I think this is more of a cactus. And this is a beautiful plant. It is a sedum or sedum gris, and this is red and green, and that's just a perfect shape for that pot. Don't know how big that gets, but that was just very little when I got that. And another little succulent, and my aloe vera, which needs repotting. Now lastly, I'll take you over to my alien looking plant. Isn't that unusual? And it has pretty orange flowers. But it looks like it belongs on another planet. And the thing with this plant is it's getting too high. So I might have to be brave, and just towards the end of winter, early spring, I might have to cut that here and then get it to sprout up again and hopefully become a bit more bushier, and then I'll end up with 2 plants, hopefully, if I don't kill it. So that's it, guys. That's my succulents. I hope you could see that okay. The afternoon sun's quite bright. But they have like little tunnels, little tubular leaves. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Just something a bit different again. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.